Well, everyone is always trying to run into the bathrooms together, and so they think that we don't know where they are if they're both not at their table. There's only two options. Hello, welcome to Dear Irving. Today we're going to be making some cocktails, and we're going to start off with our very well-known Gibson. We're going to do a 1/4 ounce of pickled red onion brine. We're going to do an ounce of Carpano Bianco vermouth. We do a little bit different style here, so we use like a different kind of vermouth, and we do a house pickled onion. 2 ounces of Tanqueray 10. You can use any gin you like, something with a more citrusy kind of note is great. Fill our mixing glass with some ice cubes. And I do like to crack an ice cube right on the top, especially if I'm just making one martini. A lot of bars are just doing traditional dry kind of classic Gibsons, but we have a fun little spin on ours. But people really enjoy the savory element, the pickly kind of vinegar tang in our martini. And we're gonna strain with our julep strainer. And we have a Gibson. Hi, I'm Kelsey Kracke. I'm from Long Island, New York. We're at Dear Irving right now. It's located in Gramercy between 17th and 18th near Union Square. So we're kind of like a time-traveling speakeasy cocktail lounge. When you walk in, you're gonna walk into the JFK room. So that's sort of like kind of 50s, 60s, mid-century modern. There's a bunch of Marilyn Monroe things all over the place. She's hidden in the wallpaper, little photographs. There's like 50s cameras on display. And then as you progress through the bar, you kind of go back in time. So then we go to more like the roaring 20s, the flapper era, the beads, the bright sparkles. That's moving into our F. Scott Fitzgerald room. And then we go back in time. We're gonna do the Queen Victoria room. We have the luscious red couches, we have the sconces, we have a kind of darker vibe. And then where we are right now, this is the Marie Antoinette room. Yeah, we get a lot of requests to be put in the back room. It makes for great pictures, it makes for a great kind of gathering over here in the corner, the banquettes. So here at Dear Irving, we have a couple of staple tools that we're always going to use, whether or not we're shaking or stirring a drink. For shaken drinks, we always use the Corico weighted shaking tins. They seal super nice and they have a nice feel in your hand when you're making cocktails over and over again. The Japanese style jiggers are a go-to. We always have the 2 and the 1 ounce as well as the 3/4 and the 1/2 ounce. These stay in the corner of all the bartenders' trays for all the drink making. We have, with the Corico shaking tin, we have the Corico strainer. Fits great in the tin. You can use it for mixing glass for a tin. You can use it for a bunch of different things. And the coils are really nicely placed together, so it stops a lot of the particles from coming out. 30-centimeter teardrop spoon. This one has a nice weight to it when you're stirring drinks as well. Feels really nice between the fingers. We have our ice tapper that I use often when I'm making just one drink at a time. It kind of quickens up the process and kind of fills in the gaps to make your martini cold a little faster. We have some garnish tongs. Good for delicate garnishes. Good for if a little piece of mint is somewhere where it doesn't need to be. We can just take that out right there. We have our julep strainer. This one is great for martinis where you just want to hold back the ice but kind of let the liquid slide out like a velvet kind of stream. And we always use the 500 milliliter mixing glass. Classic etching, kind of matches some of our glassware, kind of matches the timeless aspect of Dear Irving too. Makes for a nice silky martini. Forgot about this badass muddler. So the Limelight was a drink that I made a couple springs ago as like a nice savory green spicy gin option. That one's more like a green juice, kind of makes you feel healthy about drinking it. We're gonna do 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lime, 1/2 ounce of jalapeno agave, a 1/2 ounce aloe liqueur, 1/2 ounce of dill aquavit, and an ounce of gin. This drink is going to be lightly whip shaked, so just with a little bit of crushed ice. And a shiso leaf, and kind of use these to nestle it in the back of the glass. Top it off with a little bit of chili salt. And this is the Limelight. Every table, whether you're here or you're in the front of the bar, every table has access to a little light switch on the wall. So you can push it, and then the server will come over and answer all your questions. They'll put in another cocktail order, they'll grab you the check, kind of whatever you need. So the understanding that we're not a restaurant, that we are a bar, that people are going to drink at different paces is kind of key to that. And so we don't want to rush you, we want to give you the attention that you want, but we also want you to have your privacy and be able to have your conversation. And so you can just let us know whenever you're ready. A main question that industry people ask, the regular guests are always like, wow, that's really cool. And then industry people are like, is that really annoying? Like people just constantly calling you over, is that the worst? It just takes the guesswork out. I've always really liked it. It's been a running theme at the Raines Law Room, at the Dear Irvings. Sometimes people do get wrapped up in a conversation where I will traditionally treat their table and kind of approach it and say hello without the button, but it's really easy. Sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, we gotta get the check, and it really makes things easier like that. The Peach and Dagger was made as a celebration drink. I love bellinis, I love things sparkling, I like a peachy, fruity drink, but I wanted something a little more elevated. Starts off with half an ounce of fresh lemon, half an ounce of Creole shrub. It's an orange liqueur with a little bit of Creole spice, peach liqueur for a little fruity sweetness, 3/4 of an ounce, and an ounce of California brandy. I'm gonna shake it with some cold draft cubes, about 3 or 4. We always fill the glass with champagne first to give it some room to react when we add the cocktail. Just a little bit at a time to give it some room to bubble up. We can strain into the little tin to get it off the ice so it doesn't get too watery. Top it off very slowly. And this is our Peach and Dagger. I started at a beach club. That was fun. I was in the ice cream department and then moved up to the kitchen. After the beach club, I did a little Tex-Mex mom and pop restaurant in East Quogue, where I'm from. After that, did college. I always had jobs during college, which I was like, sometimes I'm like not going to class because I want to go to pick up a shift or something. So I was like, let's not do that anymore. And then tried a fancier restaurant on Long Island. It was called Les Charlots. It was a French bistro in Southampton. And then I realized that I think this might be for me. And so I moved to the big, scary city. And then I've been working in this company ever since. I've had a lot of mentors in the past, but seeing a lot of the super confident and successful women that have bartended here over the years before I took over as head bartender, that's been a really big boost in confidence. We've always had a really big team of really badass, strong women. Megan Dorman, our beverage director, has always been really positive and really open and pushing me forward and always offering lessons, always increasing knowledge and things. She always offers great opportunities to kind of get myself out there, and yeah, so she's been a great mentor. But really, all of the incredible women behind the bar here have all taught me how to do what I do today. Thanks, Cocktail Kingdom, for coming to the bar. We appreciate it, but I gotta get started on some prep work, so I'll see you later.